You're now tuned to BS3 Network.
Bring that beat back, DJ. Welcome to the Fourcast. It's the 3cast as of right now. Doc may or may not be on. He's recovering from his trip to Minnesota. With the Cowboys winning that game, he's feeling pretty good right now. So we'll see if he'll be on. He may or may not. But glad to come back again with another episode of the Fourcast. And tonight we'll be bringing to you a review of Yvonne Orji, A Whole Me, which is a special on HBO. If you're not familiar with her, her claim to fame is Insecure. That's a show that she was on. Issa Rae directed and produced that. So that's kind of her claim to fame. This is actually her second special, so we're going to tap into that tonight. Wilkes, how you doing?
Pretty good. Had me a nap after work. I'm great.
Yeah, those naps, man. Always
Power naps,
clutch,
man. They're important. The key.
Always clutch.
Yes.
And A-Trap, how you doing?
I'm doing.
At least you're doing.
Yeah, at least you're doing.
Yeah.
Doing. Yeah, that's it. I'm doing. No, I'm good, man. No complaints holding us in, man.
Good. Yeah,
everything's starting to round into shape.
That's good. That's good. Producing on the boards back there. Hopefully, you got a fresh beat for us next week.
DJ Milk, Warlord of the Milk Board, Mix Board.
Now, so did anyone know? And A-Trap, I'm gonna ask you first. Did you know who she was? Did you watch Insecure? Did you know who she was before this special?
Not at all. Only reason I knew her is because she played the role of Molly on Insecure, and that was it. If she not been on that, I would have never even heard of her. No, not at all.
Yeah, because it felt like she had to kind of lead with that, like, hey, she dropped it, throughout the special, I think once or twice. But I think you just got to be a fan of Insecure. If not, I don't know if you would really know who she was, because I hadn't really seen her in any other acting roles. So, but I got to say, Wilkes, man, you don't want to put me on the Insecure when this was went way back. I think I wasn't really paying attention to it, but yeah. So get initial thoughts. And I know you knew who she was. Wilkes, but
yeah, I mean, I just knew her. Yeah, pretty much Insecure when I first started watching that, and and actually I didn't know who Issa Rae was at the time. I just saw this show and the shirt she was wearing, and it's like the shirts kind of drew me in, and then the music during the show. But her playing Molly, that's the extent that I knew. And then I noticed that she maybe during the pandemic is when I think her first special came on, but I didn't watch the first special. But I was like, oh, so she's I was like, I don't know if she's an inspiring comedian or she was a comedian. Like I really didn't know, but didn't watch that one. After watching this one, I mean, I would like to see her do another one. I mean, I think she may be on track to, if she feels like. I like the incorporation of like the little skits, the little comedy little skits. That was pretty funny, but different. But I didn't really know her, and I think this one, I felt like, I follow her on Instagram, but that was because of Insecure. But even, following her, I think if you did that, this also made more sense to me, because you could tell she was coming from a place that she was going through some things, or she had been through some things. And you could kind of see that from some of her posts as well too. So I thought it was pretty dope.
Yeah, and I want to give her a quick round of applause because female comedians, period. There's not a lot that I think can like hold the stage and be able to do a 1 hour special and it not be boring.
Yeah.
She was engaging. She was able to get the crowd in. She was very animated and everything.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
Give me your initial thoughts, bro.
As Wilkes just stated, I like the the one woman show aspect of it. She incorporated her comedy with sketches and things of that nature. And as Wilkes said again, Issa Rae, she's to be perfectly honest with you, we talking about my Yvonne, but Issa Rae is an inspiration to me and you, Ben. Me and you got on the same path at the same time. And for those who don't know who Issa Rae had created the whole Insecure from a YouTube series that she was shooting on her iPhone called Insecure Black Girl.
Yeah.
And they into this. So
yeah.
you got people you got a lady who's doing stand-up comedy, who's taking it to another level, and Issa Rae's taking it to another level. So I was just I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't overjoyed with the comedy, but I was overjoyed with I was impressed with the concept.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And I had him. Yeah, I was thinking to myself, she almost got a show out of this. I mean, she could do I don't know, a variety type show, or she could even do a TV show.
Right.
Because I mean, they have a show similar to this, like what is it, Abishola and somebody. That comes on NBC.
Yeah.
But there's definitely a lane to this for this. If she decided to take it.
Yeah, it definitely reminded me of like John Leguizamo. How they open up with jokes. Jamie Kennison, or Jamie Kennison, I think, or Kennedy. I think it's Jamie Kennedy.
Yeah, Kennedy. Yeah.
I was like Kennison. I'm mixing them two together. But it's like it also like Dave Chappelle. You start out with some jokes and then you go into a skit. I mean, but I had never seen that done with any other stand-up though. When I've never seen that like done. I mean, maybe it's been done before. So anybody want to correct me, that's fine. But I've never seen it like that. I thought it was pretty different. It was neat. Like I said, I'm like H-Rap. I didn't. I mean, the comedy was there for me. I got a few chuckles in, but I like that she's what path she's on. I mean, I think she'll get another one out of this. I mean, I like to see HBO handing out these contracts, to up and coming talented black women, black men. I mean, I mean, Netflix is right there with them, but it's good to see it.
Yeah. Shout out to Just Joe. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate your shouting all of us out. We appreciate that. Yeah, and the comedy was, I think it was not necessarily for our age, in particular, but she had on a lot of topics that the black community deals with. Like for me, it was kind of a Dave Chappelle-esque. I'm not gonna, she's not on Dave Chappelle level, but talking about estate planning. She's talking about having these conversations with your parents. She's talking about your worth versus your work. And she was like, all right, now we ain't going to church.
Yeah.
But I mean, she was hitting some hard topics.
Oh, yeah,
absolutely. Like you was laughing and, thinking at the same time.
And that's why I was saying, when I follow her on her Instagram, when she posts especially during that break, when Insecure took that long break, I felt like, and then the pandemic was happening. I felt like she was dealing with some things. She was starting to rock her more natural hair. She was kind of like, this is who I am, what I look like. She was doing more, with the less makeup or whatever. But I think she was just dealing with a lot of different things at that time. And, people had judged her for being, I don't know what her sexual thing is now. I know she was a virgin. She maybe still is. I don't know. But, people were giving her a hard time for that. And, it was just one of those things where she was just dealing with a lot. And then she went into that. So it made a lot of sense because, like I said, you can tell from some of her posts, even though they weren't too personal, but when somebody's posting a selfie and the captions, I mean, they say a lot of, I mean, it's a lot. So you kind of like, oh, well, I get what she's joking about or what she's cracking on, so.
But
and
go ahead.
One of the things I really appreciated about this as well is, you brought this to light just a second ago with the Dave Chappelle reference. I would say she's Dave Chappelle, but she's Dave Chappelle early in his career, just like she seems to be early in her comedy career.
Yeah.
But one thing that I could truly appreciate about her is with her language, she bridging the gap between Black people and Africans. She's opening the door for Black people and African people to understand each other. Like, she ain't saying it, but it's that unspoken language that we have. That situation to whereas we don't know anything. My Nigerian homeboys, they like, I remember when I first met them, they were like, I was like, hey man, we exchanging cultural differences.
Yeah.
And I said, okay. I said, let's just attack the elephant in the room. He said, what's that? I said, most Black people think that y'all think y'all better than us. And shockingly, homeboy said, oh yeah, we do. He said, we think we the best thing on earth. He said, but we don't think we better than Black people. We think we better than everybody on earth.
Everybody.
So this ain't a Black thing.
Yeah.
I was like, oh. He said, yeah, we think we the best thing in the world.
Yeah.
So when he said that, I was like, oh, it was like, and then she opened the door to things that I actually be saying on the show. She was like, when you're Nigerian, you're either going to be a doctor, an accountant, a lawyer, or
IT,
or engineer.
Yeah, and IT has kind of been as of late. That's been a huge booming career for.
I have to say, growing up, I wish, which I could be wrong in the '90s. Growing up, I wish engineering was pushed a lot more.
Oh yeah.
Then now compared, I mean, I know artificial, technology and AI, that stuff is big now. Computer science, which I had grown, in high school, but I mean, engineering is it can open the door to so much. I mean, it's big, it's important.
Yeah, and A-Trap, you can probably relate at Morris Brown, at Morehouse. It was a lot of, I met probably more. The only Nigerian people my first encounter was at Morehouse. I mean, it was a lot of guys that came there, and they were so laser focused. You couldn't get them dudes to do nothing because they knew that their parents was to be on their behind if they messed up just a little bit.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, it's like that with the Asian community too. I mean, I've got some Asian friends where their family is like, look, this is what and there's also some like, okay, you're pushing me to do this. I don't want to do that. Like, that's not my lane. But when I get to my lane, trust me, I'm definitely going to take it and run with it. But I've seen that with my Asian friends. I mean, they're the same way. It's just like their family, like, yeah, my dad's on me. Growing up, it's like, oh, my dad's on me again. Oh, my mom's on me again. It's like, but they know. It's like, hey, maybe they didn't reach that pinnacle, or maybe they didn't get there, and they may have had some shortcomings or messed up or whatever, or maybe they didn't have somebody pushing them as much. So it's like, hey, I see this in you. Yeah, I'm going to push you, but I mean, I still love you, but I'm just putting so much on you right now. I need you to push through this,
Right. Yeah, and there's definitely, to A-Trap's point, there's definitely some similarities because my sophomore or junior year, I changed my major. My dad was like, "You really about to do this now?"
You know how to hey, I mean, black fans be right there, man.
They you have a different standard. Period. You do, because I think they definitely want it more for you, but also they expect more of you because you're their child. I don't care what everybody else does.
And it's
worried about what you do.
Just to kind of piggyback off of what you were saying, Ben, like you said, you're my child, but I think they're speaking also in a sense, I know how this world is working. I know how this world is set up and what's set up as a pitfall, unfortunately, for some things. So I need you to overcome those things. I'm pushing you because the world's already counted you out. Most people anyway. So it's like, as your father, as your mother, I'm there trying to push you into this direction. Because trust me, it's like, you hear it all the time. It's like, hey, I wish I would have got what you got when I was your age. You've heard it so many times, So it's like, if you've got a chance to, it's like I told my son, he's graduated, he's working now, and kind of getting the taste of that. I was like, Andre, this is your training ground right now. I was like, you can't curse that right now. You've got to, take this thing and surpass me, surpass other people, do something different, break that chain of mediocrity. It's like,
right.
Trust me, on the backside, you'll get the fruit and reap that later. But
Right. Right.
Thank you, Alfred. You got to thank Alfred.
long vacation, man.
Got that lime green solo. I see you.
Yeah, man. I keep it nice and cold.
But go ahead, A-Trap. I think you were going to touch on.
Oh no! I was just totally agreeing, and one thing that I told both my children, and Wilkes literally said what I told my child. Like me and BJ, y'all see me and BJ do the shows together.
Yeah.
And between I literally stepped to BJ when he was 14. That means my daughter was 10. I said, hey man, you probably hate me until you about 17, 18 years old. I say, and when you 18, you'll understand. Because, due to his birthday, academically, he's a year behind. I said, when you 18, you'll understand. Because this is 8th grade for him. I said, when you 18, you'll understand. I said, you'll get it. And BJ could stand. You can ask BJ. I even asked him on the show Wednesday, and he'll tell you, man, I want to push my dad in front of a truck. But when he got to high school, he was like, oh.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, absolutely.
Start
my son right now, he'll send me a text message. He's like, Dad, I saw what you were telling me.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not going to tell you anything that doesn't benefit you. I'm not going to tell you anything that's going to befall you and make mistakes. I was like, I'm trying to help you not make the mistakes I've made or may make. I was like, you've got to take this thing.
Big Mo.
Yeah. What's up, Big Mo?
Big Mo.
Hey, wrap it up is the next thing, man. I'm loving it, man. You producing it and
nice.
Lonnie and Fish, man. Keep doing what y'all doing. Also, real quick, Rhonda, thank you for tuning in, and Pastor Dodd in the building. Thank you for tuning in. Go ahead, Wilkes. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no. I was just really saying. It was just one of those things where you just have to, stay on that path. It's like, I'm not going to give you anything that's not going to try to benefit you in this life. I don't have all the answers. Of course not. I never said I had all the answers. I may have some of the answers and the experiences of the things I've been through, but I'm not going to tell you I have all the answers. And I've always tried to also make sure that my son can talk to me and also his mom about whatever with no judgment. I don't want him acting like he can't come to me. Like I tell him all the time, it's like, Andre, I'm not stupid, man. When you're in school, you doing what I did, what my parents did. I was like, you're not doing anything new. Yeah.
I was born. What they say? I was born
at night.
Not last night.
But not last night. Right, exactly.
Man, that was a staple in my house, man.
Right, exactly.
Right.
My kids did something crazy, I'd be like, at night.
Right. Exactly.
I already knew. I already knew it was up. And so she hit like therapy hard. Yeah, and I think this is a comedy special, but man, she was it's got a lot of nuggets in it. Yeah. And I think as far as therapy, we think, oh, that means you're weak. And that's not really what it means. It means you're talking out things that you went through, because you may not really fully talk about it. You may mention it in a joking way, or you may mention it because we all joke about the times.
Oh, absolutely.
You got to be able to talk to a person that can give you some sound advice, or that can listen,
it's funny you mentioned that, because I was talking to my mom, I think it was same Thanksgiving Day, actually, and we were talking about, which I don't want to get off topic, but we were talking about the manager at Walmart that had, or, I think he had got demoted, and, he targeted some people, whatever the case is. I don't know everything, but my point was, I saw a post that said, or there was a comment on the post that said we should treat people better than how we're treating them right now, because you never know what they're dealing with. And then, of course, somebody fired back and said, well, that doesn't justify him shooting people. No, it doesn't. But the point is, here's the thing. The life we live now has new stresses and has new pressures. So unfortunately, I was telling my mom, I was like, Yeah, because when we were growing up, we always heard, "Oh, you all right? You all right, boy? Oh, you all right, girl? Going back in the house, or oh, go over there and sit down. You okay? Oh no, oh, you just need to learn how to get back with them, and crack jokes when they cracking jokes on you and bullying you." I'm like, but some people don't process that well. Some people don't get that. I mean, we were raised. You know how we are. We gonna give you shit right back. That's right. As my grandmother, we played the dozen.
Right. We can score on each other.
We can score on each other, right? Exactly. Right. But today, unfortunately, we're in a new storm front, if I could use that. And it's one of those things where now it's like we've said it so many times. Yeah, okay, they want us to be a little rough around the edges, but like I said, some people can't process, why is this person constantly picking on me? Why is my job constantly on my back when I'm doing what I need to be doing? We have new levels of stresses and button mashing now. So it's one of those things where, unfortunately, short fuses, trauma, we're teaching you to bottle it up and hold it and not talk to anybody about it. Oh, you don't need no help. They just talking crazy.
Not actually dealing with it.
But you know what? Is it that is it more stresses or is it less communication? Because the reason we can score on each other is because your mother and your father will score on you. Your sister,
absolutely.
Your brother will score on you. Absolutely. We don't have that communication anymore. We just want our kids to be there. You should know this because you're black. Nah, I shouldn't because we were joning on each other. You guys, let's take it back to, since we talked about a comedy spot, so let's take it all the way back to 1983. Delirious Eddie Murphy, right? Delirious Eddie Murphy, he referenced the fart game. He said, your father, my father was playing the fart game. He said his brother cried, and he was like, hey, don't worry about it, son. It's the fart game. You'll play one day. Right. And I definitely believe we've gotten away from that. All we do with our children is, a lot of us, I'm not going to say all of us, I'm not going to say, because I know it's going to be, well, not everybody, not me, but a lot of us, we just parent instead of, we're just being fathers and mothers instead of parenting. And part of parenting is being loose. Because I could reference this one time with me and BJ. I used to always tell BJ, speak your mind, speak your mind, speak your mind. If you think I'm wrong, speak your mind. But because I was so demonstrative, BJ was afraid, but I kept pushing him, and I kept pushing him, and I kept pushing him. And then one day, BJ he barked on me. It was like, well, I'm telling you this, I'm telling you that. And I was like, and his mom was like, oh, you don't talk to your father. I say, I'm talking.
Right.
And then he got it all off his chest, and it was to the point it built up. BJ was literally like this. And then when his mother and my daughter went back upstairs, I was like, feel better, don't it? He's like, yeah.
Right. Because you gave him a space to deal with that.
Yeah. I said, say it. And I say, dude, it ain't nothing wrong with telling me I'm wrong. I said, but you got to be able to explain it. And I said, I'm not even telling you that I'm gonna be wrong. But if you can explain why you think I'm wrong, we good. And since then we've been good. And my daughter, I have to tell my daughter that she you
don't have to tell the girls to speak their mind. They let you know most of the time.
Right.
But most of the time.
And I think that's one of the reasons we that's why these stresses are getting the kids, because like my mom was a drill sergeant, man. My mom didn't play no games on me.
Right. Oh God.
It was do what I say, when I say it, how I say it. Hey, I remember if my mother said this once, she said it a billion times. She's like, don't give me no half a-ish.
We just talking about that.
We just talked about
that. That's every black. I mean, so, and I'll be like, now when I go back and I think about it, so you want me to do a full ass? What you mean? You don't want like what that don't even make no sense.
Yeah, don't bring me no half ass. The classic one was, don't be coming in with no half ass grades now.
Boy,
that was a classic.
Here we go. Here we go, Rhonda. That's just a classic too. Do as I say, not as I do.
Exactly. And then that communication thing. See, this was the dope thing. This is what I'm talking about, parenting. My mom barked. My mom didn't play no. I got uncles. My uncle Larry was 6'7". One time I called my mom. I was about 35. I called my mom by a nickname. Her nickname is Pumpy. I walked in my Aunt Rita's house. It was Thanksgiving. I said, "Hey, it's Pumpy here." They was like, "Oh, you better call your mama about in there." I was like, "Hey, man, it's Pumpy here, man. I'm playing." And she walked up behind me. I said, "What's up, mama?" Nah, and I'm not saying that. I don't care about 135. I'm going, but I remember one time when my mother was dying, I was taking care of my mom, and BJ was there with me, and I barked on him, and she was like, "Hey, remember when we talked? And you said sometimes you were afraid to talk to me?" I was like, "Yeah." I'm thinking, I was afraid to talk to you. I'm bad now because I'm you were wrong. She said, "That's how he feel right now." I was like, "Oh."
Right.
So that's what I mean. Maybe our children have issues communicating and the stresses because we didn't communicate.
Right.
Yeah. Because to your point, parenting is one part of it, which is the discipline and I'm telling you to do this and you do it. And then the communication is another part. And I applaud my wife. She early on, she communicated with my daughter. And now she'll talk to us, about anything. Now as she continues to get older, that's something you got to develop too.
Right.
I mean, you can't just think that everything's all good.
Right.
So going back to shout out to Kirby Alexander. Thank you for tuning in. Also Raider Kev in the building. Thank you for tuning in as well, man. You're working out and you're walking and all that is inspiring. Brother, keep doing what you're doing. You never know who's watching. Yeah. So Yvonne
putting his watch on the remote control car going around the block.
Putting on the dog. Yvonne Orji, Whole Meat. That's the name of the specials on HBO. This is her second special, and like I said, she was really hitting therapy hard. And kind of how she was going in between different therapists and stuff. That was pretty funny. And I think for guys, when she do the guy voice, it's like, yeah, we good. We don't need therapy. But like, we the ones that need therapy the most. There's a song on Kendrick Lamar's album. It's called, what's it called? Father. I think it's called Father. But basically,
on the latest one, I think it's just called Father.
Yeah. But on that whole song, he's talking about guys with daddy issues. And like you think, it's not really that big of a thing. But he said he's the person my dad didn't want me to be is who I became. Because his dad, and what he was kind of explaining on the song. But another aspect of that song, he was saying his dad's mom passed away. He was like, "You going back to work so soon?" And he was like, "Yeah, I wasn't born with no silver spoon. Money ain't money not gonna be put on the table on its own." So it kind of teaches us to just put our heads down and keep going. Eventually, when we look up, I mean, we could be struggling at some point. When you don't deal with some of that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Keith Walker in the building. Thank you for tuning in. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really just learning how to communicate because I find myself frustrated a lot. So as a matter of fact, I was talking about this last night, and you're saying sometimes you just need to listen. And for a long time in my life, I talked and I didn't listen. I'm really just learning how to listen now because, I find myself being frustrated a lot. And now that I've learned how to shut my mouth and listen, life is a lot less stressful. Even though it's still mad stressful. But literally last night, I was having that conversation like, man, sometimes you just got to listen to the person. And, it is your natural reflex to want to help. But sometimes helping ain't talking. Helping is listening.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, some people just want to talk without feedback. Some people just want to talk with, like somebody, I can't remember who it was. I don't know if it was my cousin or they had texted me and had a situation, but they were just like, I just want to talk because I don't want advice. I just want to talk. And my cousin, she was telling me that. I was like, trust me, I'm the last one to try to offer any advice. So it was like right after unfortunately, her sister, her birthday was on the 18th. She died back in 97 in a car wreck. But I was like, yeah, no, trust me. I have no information to give you. I'm not a whiz at this. But listening is good.
And anybody in a relationship or married, sometimes your spouse may be like, "Hey, I just want to talk, but I don't want you to try to fix it."
Right.
I think a lot of times we
might break it worse.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of times my wife telling me something, and in my head, I'm like, "Okay, what do we need to do?"
Yeah,
I can do this for you. It's fine. You don't have to worry about it. And sometimes it's just like you're not listening. Just let me talk to you, and then if I ask for advice.
Your mama.
Wow.
But again, going back to the special, and it's like this is what we do in the show. We talking about a comedy special, but it's hitting so many different topics. So definitely suggest you guys watch it. And she was talking about the pandemic, which she talked about that a lot too. Which I wanted to bring this up. I didn't really see the pandemic as being a real thing until they canceled the NCAA tournament. For me, that was when I thought it was real. Not when everybody, because she kind of right. Now the NBA, when who was it?
Canceled for a couple of weeks.
Yeah. But when they canceled the tournament, I'm like, oh, this is serious. So I didn't know for y'all. When did y'all think it was serious?
It got real for me immediately, man. The last 2 years since 20, it's gonna be 3 years now.
Yep.
Coming up on 3 years. The last 2 years have been horrible for me, man. When COVID first started, one of the captain of my football team died. COVID started in February. My man Umbrella Riley. Shout out to my man Riley, rest in peace. He passed away immediately.
Wow.
Immediately. It was just getting cracking, and now my man gone. And so it got real for me immediately. Literally by August of that year, I had lost 16 friends. Here we are 3 years later, I've lost 33 people.
Wow.
So it got real for me immediately. But I do understand, like people, oh man, you ain't do this and you ain't do that. I'm like, nah, man, I ain't doing none of that, man. Like people like, man, we can go over here, man. This ain't real. Okay. And just even as recently as my man Drastic, you hear me talk about him with me, Big Illinois, and Draz all the time. And Draz one of those dudes who woke, and he fight everything. Everything is a conspiracy theory. And y'all know me. I'm a bit of a conspiracy theorist myself.
Yeah.
But this man,
there's some real and fake and everything.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But Draz got to get down April of this year. He almost died. And one of the homies of this year. Right. And one of the homies, man, that ain't real. After this man just get out the hospital, he was on a ventilator. And that ain't real. So I got real for me immediately, man. And it is what it is. You just I remember talking to here's not you ready for this? And then I'll just be quiet after that. I talked to somebody, a nurse, in March of that year, right? March of that year. 2020 March. She was a nurse, worked here at St. Anthony's Hospital. And she told me a baby was born in November of 19 at her hospital with COVID. Wow. So, D-Grade will probably be in here in a little while, right?
Yeah.
D-Grade, personally, I mean, D-Grade can speak to it better than me. I remember D-Grade. Me and D-Grade talk all the time on the phone.
Yeah.
We was talking today on the phone. Good brother. I think D-Grade and Big Illinois brother, Anu, he like a big brother to me. Anu, I think they both had COVID because everything they talk about is what bothers people with COVID. And we talking about D-Grade and Anu had it in December. So it got real immediately.
Yeah, and to that example, there's been a few people, my parents, they thought they had it, and this was October of 19. Me and Wilkes, two of our co-workers, they
oh gosh.
They thought they was thinking they were gonna die. And it wasn't a title on it. And then one of my best friends, my college roommate, he thought he had it too, but it wasn't really a
because we were kind of coming out of the holidays when I heard about it. It was like late December. I didn't think anything about it because we had always, heard other things, and then probably about January, but then March is when it was like, okay, they shutting stuff down. New York is like they back and forth with the curfew, or they closing. It was just like getting crazy, and then there was this cruise ship that was stuck off the coast of San Francisco.
That was wild. And and there's a special, I think it's on Netflix, where basically it's all the people of their own personal videos.
Yeah.
But I will never look at cruise ships again after that situation.
Oh yeah. It was like, oh man, it's crazy. I mean, honestly, in my mind, I figured maybe it hit everybody different. But if it's traveling that fast like that across waters, across continents and nations, and I was like, we've all must have had it eventually. Yep. Maybe not to a certain extent of being intense, but I was like, it's airborne at that point. I mean, how can you not breathe it in? I mean, I don't know, but still, it got crazy when I know Ben and Nicole had went home and they closed down the job, and I was like,
that's Keisha comment right here. She knew it was serious.
Yeah.
When her job sent to her home in the middle of the day, for 2 weeks, and it turned into 2.5 years. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, and it was unpredictable. Yeah. If you was watching the news at all, that was probably the most depressing thing during that time.
Just watching the numbers and everything.
The numbers just kept going up.
I was like, oh my gosh, man.
As a matter of fact, when it truly got real for me, it's July. You know how you roll over in the middle of the bed? All three of us big dudes. So you know how you roll over in the middle of the bed, you might lose your breath. Like,
yeah. You kind of,
bro. I've never had a panic attack, and I was a rat far away from a panic attack that day. It was mid-July.
Oh man,
because we was all focusing on Facebook, keeping updates, like you said. 4,375,000. We watching this. And I'm on Facebook hard, and I went to bed that night. And I rolled over in the middle of the night, went, whew, and I had to literally talk myself off the ledge. I was like, oh, I got it. Oh God, I'm gonna be on the ventilator. And then I was like, no. And I talked myself out of a panic attack. I'm telling you, I've never even come close to a panic attack. But that night, I remember sitting on the side of the bed like this, telling myself, yo, this ain't real. You ain't got nothing. And I had to literally mid-July 2020 talk. That's when it got real. That's when it truly got real. Because 2 weeks, man, I had lost Anthony Green, my man, rest in peace. And then my homegirl, Lavisa Hall, girl who's living next door to us, our families, our friends. 2 weeks after that, I mean, I was losing people left and right. Then I'm watching Facebook and I'm seeing, oh man, you heard such died. And it was just death after death after death. And then I went, in the middle of the night, I almost lost my itch.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Hell, we were making jokes, but hell, somebody cough or somebody sneeze. You like,
man, everywhere you be like, what's,
hey, bro, in a minute we gonna be saying God bless you on coughs.
Right. Exactly.
Real man. We was giving out side eyes everywhere, man. Anybody looking weird. Anybody, with that, because everybody had their mask on. So if you start seeing that red around somebody's eyes, you like, you need to watch out.
Right.
But I'll say this, man. I thank God He protected us for real. Because I was working at Walgreens part-time during COVID. It was sick people coming in and out there all the time.
Oh man.
And so I thank God for that. Let me get to some comments. Trey Natural's in the building. Thank you for tuning in. Good to see you. Keisha says, what does your mean? Yo. Yeah, I know. I guess you didn't listen to no New York rap. It got real for me when we had family members in New Orleans passed away after they didn't cancel Mardi Gras that year. Jay Twice lost her
in
career.
The jazz festival. I think they canceled the jazz festival in Louisiana. You know how big that is.
Right. People still give the side eye 2 years later if you cough and sneeze.
Hey, still.
If it sounds junky, yes.
It's that little loogie, a little water.
Yeah. If it sounds like you need to spit up something, yeah.
But people don't be respecting that 6 feet thing no more. It was a dude behind me because I be eating a lot of salads. There was a dude behind me at the grocery store. I'm like, man, back up off. I say, hey, man, 6 feet.
Yeah.
Back up off me, man. I pop you one up in
here. Yeah. He said a cashier was coughing at the Family Dollar Saturday and said, next customer, please. I said, nah, I'm going to wait on the other cashier.
Right.
Especially,
I mean, hey, it's being honest.
We had to get back to manners. Wash your hands.
We shouldn't be telling people
cover your cough. I mean, you shouldn't be. This is stuff that you learn as a kid. And still,
people that, man.
There's people that come in our job all the time.
Right.
I'm right by the bathroom. I hear them. Yeah. They basically in and out. They don't even rub their hands in the water. And I'm like, you want to dap me up? Nah, I ain't shaking your hand.
Yeah, at least like splatter your hand across the water or something.
COVID.
Yeah, real COVID.
Real COVID right now.
Exactly.
But now, as we're talking about this, it made me think that was this special, was it not 2022? Because she was talking heavy, like pandemic, like maybe this was shot in 2021. It was
probably, because the funny thing was, because like I said, I didn't watch the first one, which it showed the date of 2020, which it could have been recorded.
It probably
2019. Maybe it dropped in 2020, but it's the same for this one. It could be like 2021, and it just dropped in, this year.
No, but she made some references about stuff this year.
She did. Okay.
Yeah.
She made some early 2022 references, but I mean, you know what, dog? Let's just be honest, man. Ain't nothing. Hey, as the words say, it ain't nothing new under the sun. So.
Right.
Everything is cyclical. When we been wearing bell bottoms in about 4 years, you know what I mean? So,
right.
Everything come back around.
Yeah.
Did we all learn the same manners?
We should have, I hope.
Make assumptions.
But we didn't.
We didn't. There was signs everywhere in the bathroom. There was a sign to wash your hands. There was a sign.
Right.
I mean, like, again, this is stuff that we learned. We conveniently, because we're in a rush. That's another part. Where she talked about, hustling and grinding versus ease and flow. And the stuff she was saying, the crowd was so like, man, we feel you. We feel what you're saying. But we so much in a rush that we just think, oh, that's not important. It's important. Or else you're going to continue to spread germs around.
I keep the joint in my hand, the little, what is it? The clear joint.
Hand sanitizer?
The hand sanitizer. Yeah. I ain't gave a dude a pound without.
Yeah. There was another funny part she touched on talking about let's just see. That's the white people thing. And you better be that's us. It was no let's just see. It's like you better be
right
at this point when I come to pick you up. Your grades better be above this average. You better be here when I tell you to be here.
My daughter probably thinks that's her middle name because look, man, I'm not playing. My son too, man. He probably thinks that's his middle name because I'm like, dude, because I'm not playing. It better be this. It better be that. I'm not kidding.
Right. I ain't one of your little friends. I mean, I heard that so many times. Why my friends gotta be little?
You better be talking to them like that because you ain't talking to me like that.
Hey, boy, I learned at age about 4 or 5. My grandmother was still alive, so I got to be about 4 or 5 years old. You know those little horses, and y'all might be dating. They'll go D-grade right there.
Little sticks.
Yeah, appreciate
the little horses used to ride for a quarter.
The spring, the bungee one.
They look like the Ferris wheel joints.
Yeah.
Stand alone.
Yeah,
man, we walked out of this like the Kroger here is Jewel, and it was a little horsey out there. I got when you're a kid, that quarter in your pocket is so hot, it got to get up out of your pocket.
Right, that quarter
Yeah. And my grandmother was like, "Don't you get your butt on that horse? We finna go."
Right.
And I was like, and she said, "Stand here with the car, and then we gonna go home. I'm gonna go get the car and we'll go home."
No.
I jumped on that little horse, sit on that horse. You better not get your butt off that. I'm like, 5 more minutes. Then my grandmama load up that car and went home and sent my mama back up there to get me, man. And my mother came back laughing, right? And I'm scared to death. And when my mom was sick, we were laughing about that. I said, yeah, Ma, why were you laughing at that? I said, I was scared to death. She said, I was laughing because your uncle, her brother, did the exact same thing and got the exact same result. He was in the store looking for a jacket. She said, you put that down, let's go. He was like, no. And she left that joker too. Oh yeah.
You better be ready or I'm leaving you.
Right.
And then when they leave you and you're like, I didn't think he was gonna leave me.
I told you I'm not coming in the store for nothing else. So you better not touch it. You better not pick it up.
Touch nothing. Don't look at nothing because you ain't getting nothing. And the first thing you do when you get in the store is you touch something that's glass. Oh. Yeah.
Because once again, I think that goes back to being a black kid in America, being a black person, because you know how it was. People gonna follow you around the store. They gonna wonder what you're doing. They think you don't have any manners. They think you don't have any home training. So the world's already got a target on your back. I think your parents, I think in their minds, it's like, yeah, it may not be the case, but that's really the case. Like I already know you suspect my kid to be wild, running up and down these aisles,
doing something,
pulling clothes off the hanger. No, not my kid. You're not finna embarrass me.
Right.
Oh, he acts so nice. Yeah, you're damn right. He acts nice.
Yeah, you're not gonna embarrass me up at that school.
Yeah, right. Because like I said, I think it just goes back to the mentality of being black. I think it's like you already want us to fail and look like we're heathens out here. No, you're not gonna label me like that. And you're not gonna get out of control like that with me.
No, I'm laughing because what Wilk said just took me back to like 81. J.C. Penney's. I was a real short guy, right?
J.C. Penney's heyday then.
Yeah. And in Chicago, snowsuits were very popular. Those skiing suits.
Yeah. Yep.
So my mother was picking out a snowsuit for me. I was like, I don't want that mess. My mother, I mean, I was calling one more. She said, what? Pop! And I fell back and got caught up on the thing and swung around. That's why I was like, at the time I didn't think it was funny, but
right. Now, that was during that time you get whooped in the aisle in the middle of the store.
I wish you would say something.
There was I'm not waiting until we get home. I'm gonna take you to the bathroom. No, it's happening right now.
Right there.
To the bathroom.
Don't mumble. Oh, and don't mumble under your breath. Oh.
Right. What'd you say? What'd you say?
Yeah, you think I hear you.
I'll never forget that I was caught up on the thing.
That's stories that we have. And it is similar to the Nigerian culture as well. She touched on it so many different ways.
Right.
You know, being able to she was making a proposal to her parents.
Yeah.
I think plenty of times I'm trying to convince them to do something and they're like, well, I don't know. Well, we get compromised.
Right.
It's like that's not the deal I wanted, but you got to take that deal. We get as close as possible to what you want.
I mean, even when she was talking about her mom, it was like, oh, it's not my fault. It's not you. It's my fault.
Not you. It's me.
It's my fault. I'm
stupid.
Sorry.
I'm stupid like goat. Stupid like goat.
Right. I'm so sorry that I did this.
Her parents, I know they had to have been laughing.
They had because
they were there. Yeah,
they were there. Yeah.
You know they were cracking up because I mean, just like with my mom. I mean, even at Thanksgiving, I'm at my aunt's house. My mom's sister, everybody's there. You reflect in those moments and you crack jokes at those moments. And even with their parents deceased and gone, you still reflect on those moments where you didn't think it was funny then, but you look back at it now and it's like, man, this is hilarious. But it changed me, or it made a mark. Like you won't forget it. I mean, there's things I have said in the moment with my grandmother that I just felt like, I'm not doing something right. I need to go live with my dad. My grandmother, in my mind, I'm thinking, maybe that's the best place for me. But my grandma's like, let me tell you something, boy. That definitely ain't going to be the right place. Sit your little narrow ass down and get out your feelings, as they say.
Right.
And you better be doing your homework.
Right. Let me tell you like it really is.
Right.
That ain't it. That ain't it, son.
Right.
Everything ended with, and you better learn your lessons.
Right.
Right.
You can sing all these words. You better be doing that algebra.
I hope you know your lesson like you know that song.
Right.
Hey, bro, I couldn't even watch the Three Stooges at my grandmother's house.
Oh no.
I remember once I was like, knock, knock, knock. She say, knock, knock again. Knock, knock one more.
Right. One more time.
One more time.
I wish you would say that one more time.
I wish you would. I'm waiting.
She said that magic word, the N word. She said, stupid enough. Don't be knocking around. Like, I can't laugh.
It's the Three Stooges.
It's the Three Stooges.
Nah, we ain't gonna have no Stooges in this house.
Yeah, no, that's not what we doing.
You couldn't read no comics in my grandmother's house.
Yeah,
stupid enough. What?
Shout out to my guy Lloyd Phillips. Thank you for tuning in on the Facebook group. If you are tuning in the Facebook group, go to StreamYard.com/Facebook just to give Facebook authorization so we can see who you are. But I mean, she hit home when she said DMX and Prince did not have a will. I didn't know Prince. I thought Prince would have had a will.
I didn't think he did because, in the beginning, his sister was actually fighting another member of the family for the rights to the music. And of course, Prince never wanted his music streamed. And then I don't know if I could be wrong. Maybe H-Rap got a little bit more knowledge than that, but she released the music to streaming services and he never wanted his music streamed like that. So it's kind of like, wow.
But it leaves it up to the government or whoever.
Right.
And that's really not even close kin. It's the government, which means it's got to go through a state, which means you got to pay lawyer fees.
Because supposedly there's still music that's like in the jam sessions that they would have. Yeah. He said there's still music that hadn't been released.
Prince music wasn't even on YouTube until he died.
Right. No, you're right. No, you are absolutely right. You could not find. If you did, you found a few, but he didn't own the rights at that time. But H-Rap, yeah, he's right. Like you could not really find anything.
Now, I'm gonna be honest. Now, DMX, I'm not so surprised. DMX was
not really.
DMX was just living life, man. I don't know if he even had a budget.
Estate
I don't
planning.
know. Yeah, really. So I'm not surprised there. But Prince, I was surprised. But I'll tell you this right now. You do not have a will. You need to do it. Like she said, if you got a couch in your name, you got something that's valuable that needs to be decided where it's going to go. Otherwise, your family is going to be fighting lawyers. They're going to be paying lawyers, fighting each other. So just do it now. Do it now while you're on this side. And you'll regret it.
Just for information purposes, you can write it out and get it notarized. You don't need a lawyer.
That's what we did. We got it notarized. And I learned something this past weekend. I don't know if it's everywhere, but the police department where we live in Forney, they notarize for free, and it's 24/7. Now I don't know if that's every police department. Maybe check in your city or something. But
if you live in Chicago, H-Rap's a notary.
You can hit H-Rap up at 1-800-NOTARIZE H-Rap.
Butt naked under my clothes.
Living will, the trust, power of attorney,
all that, man.
And those are hard conversations that we got to have with our parents. My parents, they said they got everything in line. They told us where it is. That's really the way it should be. Because if not, we've seen it so many times. Life insurance is another thing. Because I'm tired of seeing people immediately when somebody dies, they go to.
They have no idea. Yeah.
And I get it. Maybe that's the only option you have. But we got time on this side that we can set stuff in order so our family is not struggling.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because even as a kid growing up, I mean, I remember a church member around the corner. He was a reverend too, but he did life insurance policies, and that was something that my grandmother had always did. And that was in my face as a young kid. So it was like, oh, this seems really important, So my mom is doing it. Of course, I'm doing it. But
I'm in good hands.
Hey, so yeah, no, it was definitely taught at an early age. I mean, I saw that definitely growing up. I mean, and I always, the funny thing is that when growing up, and I thank God that I grew up at a time where some of my older cousins and relatives were still living, and I'm talking like they're in their 70s, they were in their 80s, but they had wills, they had estates, they had things that were documented and who got what and what. That was I'm glad I saw that as a kid, even because I didn't know what it was, but when you would hear the grown-ups talk about it, they explained it, But yeah, I was fortunate to see that growing up because, like you said, nobody really thinks about that too much now, I guess.
Yeah, and it's not talked about enough. Rhonda says a person can get life insurance for $10 a month. We as people will insure our homes and cars, not ourselves. Man,
absolutely.
Message.
Absolutely. 100.
That's a nugget right there. Because I'm telling you,
they'll insure that dog though.
Right. When you go, your family is gonna have to deal with it. You could be gone. You could be resting. Yeah, I mean, it's not your problem anymore. But what your family's gonna have to go through is not.
Like she said,
nobody.
It's all on me. While they're passing the gravy, eating chicken wings.
Right. And if you're employed, life insurance is available on most jobs. It's available.
Yeah.
That's why I told my kids, don't have no food at the repast. Y'all came here to cry, not to eat.
They be crying and eating.
Yeah.
Tell them, man, kick it on me. They came here to cry. They ain't come with no chicken wings, no rolling, no nothing.
None of that.
Yeah,
give me that.
But
he out of here.
Yeah, but and the time that it take too for depending on how that work out, how long it take you to get the life insurance. But I've met plenty of people that have said my parents had nothing in order,
right?
And we had to deal with it, and that's not fair to your kids,
right?
That's smart, right there.
I pay me and my kids' life insurance up for the year when I get my taxes. That's smart.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's smart. I mean, your life is a vapor. When we really think about it, somebody said that today. I don't know who it was, but if somebody said your life is a vapor, it is here and gone faster than what we think. So we got to do what we need to do.
I mean, there were, I remember when my grandmother passed. I mean, there were things that she had a will, but she also verbally told her daughter, my mom, when I pass, don't keep these credit cards, close the accounts. Don't keep these, things that you're making payments on. Like, I think we had a washer and dryer. That was a big deal for me because we always had to go to the laundromat.
Yeah.
But I was sad to see him go because, but she was like, Rolanda, you need to send those back. I don't want that to be a bill on you. I don't want that to be a burden. It's like one of those things where it's like, I'm like, well, grandma, then we're going to go back to the laundromat. But anyway, but still, it was like, why put more payment on you? Because now the house taxes are left to you. Now the property taxes left. You got something else to deal with now.
Tell my old lady, keep that stuff. It's gonna be in my name. They can't. They tell them, call Brian. Keep it. Call Brian. That's a credit card in his name. My name.
Right. He still got the same number. Just leave him a message.
Right.
He'll get back to you in the next lifetime.
Cell phone bill this month. You might not be able to catch him next month, but
right.
And this is another good point. Trey Natural.
No, she hitting one point. She hitting.
Pay your car insurance up too. I mean, you get a discount that way. I mean, definitely there is things that you can do. It's really our choice if we're going to do it or not. Because it's going to be on the front end you got to pay, or on the back end your family. Like I said, you could be gone. You could be resting.
Right.
So,
but now you left with unfortunately now you left with the headache trying to figure everything out and sort everything.
Right.
I'm telling you, better keep that. Put it in my name, baby. Keep all that stuff. If he ain't paid, y'all ain't getting it back.
Right. Yeah. Sorry.
And get the house insurance that'll pay off the house if I croak.
Yeah.
Now you ain't got nothing but taxes, and you got the brand new wash and dry.
got the whirlpool set.
Right. Now,
yeah.
that Kenmore said, baby, serious,
I
man.
got it. Hey, as soon as I get, go get a new drive.
Right. Go and get it now.
Right.
It's the big one. Go and get it now.
Call your uncle. He got a new truck.
Hey, RIP Sears, man. Did Sears make it or did they close down?
Nah, they gone. They still have online like Sears.
They got online, but it's over for Sears. It's over for going in.
The physical store, yeah, no, it's been divided up. I mean, because Craftsman Tools is, I think they belong to Lowe's or Home Depot now. Whirlpool, no, Kenmore has been divided between 3 companies. I think Electrolux, LG.
Yeah, they had what's it at? What's the name of that store? Lowe's. You need all this stuff.
Yeah,
Lowe's.
Lowe's. Yeah, all this. Yeah, they got divided up.
Trade Naturals again. My grandma, 90. She got life insurance. She said cremate her. So don't want to add any stress on any of us. She just
bury
like
me in the backyard next to the dog. I don't care.
Do something simple. I mean,
it don't have to be.
Man, funerals is so big business. I didn't really realize it.
It's huge.
Greatest hustle in the world, man.
Funeral. They said if you want us to take the body from the wherever the surgery is going to be to the hearse, that's a fee. So it was like either you're gonna pay us to do that, or y'all can just do it now.
Right.
I mean, I'm like the laundry list of fees. It's almost better than just doing a natural burial. Wrap that family member up and bury them somewhere. So
my old lady and my kids, me wherever they
Jedi treatment. Just burn me out there. Just like me on. Give me that Jedi treatment.
At the hospital, just run out like it's like a dash and eat dash.
Yeah.
Oh, he did. Oh God.
Just take the money.
Yeah.
Pay that $50 at the church. Pay that $100 at the church. Put a picture up of me.
Right.
Yeah.
Put this picture up.
Right. Exactly.
At the memorial.
At the memorial. I'm gonna have a video. I'm gonna have a video at this age. All y'all going to hell. No.
Chris Chrisman in the building. Thank you for tuning in. If you're not a member of the church, you got to pay the church. Yeah. I'm telling you, man, it is. And a prime example, kind of funny and not funny. I think it was What's Eating Gilbert Grape. I think when the funeral director was going around like, oh, you about to die, you got a cough, huh? You doing all right? How your grandmother doing?
Yeah, checking on everybody. Like, what are you
that
doing?
Dude was just showing up at all the spots. Like, hey, you still feeling a little down? But that's big business. They making bukus of money.
That's a hustle, man.
Yeah.
Hello, Golden Gate.
Yes.
Shout out to Golden Gate for all
the
you
dudes had their own. I don't know if they still have it, but they had their own radio show. A funeral home had their own radio show.
I believe it
in Dallas.
I believe it.
I think it was Sunday morning.
They got a joint on Netflix like that.
Oh, really?
A funeral director reality show? Yeah.
I think I've kind of seen something. I haven't seen it on Netflix. But I think TCL or TLC had something like TCL. TLC had something.
TLC had something like that. She said, "I told my grandma get a house. Hell, you 90. What they gonna do? They have insurance to pay it off when you pass.
Right.
Hey. They got insurance.
Yeah, they do.
Just like when my wife got her Bronco, it was in the contract. They were saying like, so unfortunately, untimely death, that Ford pays the car off.
Yeah, it's smart.
Hey, I'm telling you. Yeah, my old lady.
It's too much stuff out there now to
offer too much. Let's go get a Mercedes, girl. You gonna ride out and Shaw.
Yeah. At this point, there's no excuse to say, I didn't know. I mean,
it's too much. It's even though, like I said earlier, there's different stresses that we have, but there's also a lot of things that can alleviate those stresses, and we don't tap into them.
Right.
Like we should
until it's too late, and once you're gone, can't come back. Can't come back and say, hey, I forgot to get this life insurance policy. It's too late.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Guys be like, you gone. You know,
some colonial skin.
Right. So Yvonne Orji giving us the female perspective, on dating. She also talked about the strong Black independent woman, which we can't obviously fully talk to that, but I think that is a stress that women do have. We've been talking about stresses tonight too. That is a stress that women have, and it's in everything. Like A-Trap, like you say, the programming, in the music, in the TV shows. Oh, you strong. You'll be fine. Don't worry.
Right.
You just continue to do what you're doing. And she's like, nah, I don't want to be that, because that equals you sometimes being alone. That equals you sometimes not dealing with your issues until, it's too late. So I don't know if you had anything I wanted to add on that.
Oh man,
not really.
I mean, I totally agree with it. It's this. I personally believe it has been a civil war created between black men and black women, and the music and TV is fueling the war. You don't need. I'm a strong miss.
Oh yeah, I mean, A-Trap's point. It's all over certain posts on social media. It's just like, and like she said, and of course, I'm pretty sure I hope people got the joke, but some people out there are gonna be like, "What you mean you don't want to be a strong black woman?" You know what she's talking about. Like, she's not saying just lay down and walk all over me, but damn,
right.
Yeah,
don't be so strong that you can't be loved, that you
right.
end up being alone. You can be strong and alone. Yeah. Like that's not what it was meant to be.
Brian Longcar, strong arm.
Right. Call me now.
Right.
But yeah, man, she had on a lot of points. I would definitely suggest you guys watch it. If you're a female too, and if you're probably 30 or under, this is probably really for you. But she had on a lot of good points that we can deal with in the black community. Creative. I think this could be a blueprint for some other comedians to mix it up. I mean, we've seen stand-up is probably one of the oldest professions that's out there.
It's up there with
like mix it up.
Yeah, it's like, which I don't know that they don't do it today these days. But yeah, like you said, it was like, man, I gotta take my album down to the radio station. I gotta take my cassette, play my music, man.
Exactly.
Comedian, man, hear me for 30 minutes, man. Give him 30 minutes, man.
Right.
One of the things I liked is when she did the thing about living in the house with your parents, and she wanted to move out. I think it was a subtext to that. And the subtext is, we'll push our children out the crib. Fast. You hear a lot of people. You 18, get out. I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting next to this dude named Dave Trope. He a Jewish cat. Dave at the time, let me see, I was 20. Dave had to be about 34. He was still living at the crib. He was in an arranged marriage. I'll never forget. And he was like, yeah, man, because Dave was a very strong introvert. And
really? Talking about Golden Gate Funeral.
Probably the same joint, man. Probably the same joint.
It's probably the same one. Yeah, maybe. I didn't know that.
Dave had an arranged marriage. He's like, I got to go meet my wife in New York. I'm like, oh, how long she been there? He's like, her whole life. I was like, huh? He's like, yeah, it's an arranged marriage. Yeah. And this is 99, man. This was 1999.
Yeah.
And he had an arranged marriage. And it's just a lot of stuff that you can learn. Like I went to my homegirl Kimmy and her husband Grant. When they had basically two ceremonies. They had a traditional American ceremony, and then they dressed down, and then they dressed up in African garb. Yeah. And they did the little juju ceremony when people was putting that paper on them, man. Putting that money, throwing that money at them, man. And then like one of my Jewish co-workers, he pretty much let me know, man, if you can't throw up $1,000, you can't come to my wedding.
Wow.
So he was like, yeah, man, I got to invite this dude and this dude, this dude. I said, man, that's a lot of people. He said, yeah, man, these are the people who can put up some money. So
who can drop it?
Who got me on that life insurance?
Right, exactly.
No, but and then when it was over, he ended up having my $50,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like 50.
That's really setting you up, man. That's the next level. Because to your point, A-Trap, we sometimes in our culture we push the kids out, but we teaching them how to budget. We teaching them how to write checks. We're teaching them how to live life, because you can just push somebody out, but if they don't know what they're doing, they're eventually gonna come back because they're not equipped to handle life. And don't go out there and get pregnant. One of my good friends was like, yeah, that's what they say, but they don't teach you how to do anything else. They just say, don't go out there and get pregnant.
Right.
Like that's the smallest part of life.
What's the other part of that chapter?
Right. This other part of living and paying rent and paying bills and managing money. Like that's washing clothes. Some people don't even know how to wash clothes when they leave the house.
Oh man.
Well, if you don't know how to wash no clothes, you ready to leave the house, you should have died when you was a baby.
Well, my grandma say, man, don't no woman want no man that don't know how to wash his own clothes.
Right.
Man, I don't wash my own clothes since I was like 8.
Hey.
Really?
Yeah, but you know, she like when she was trying to get money from her parents to move out. You know, her parents pretty much like, no, you can't leave. But then they was like, if you want to leave, we're gone.
Yeah.
You ain't leaving without money, but
you leaving on your own.
Yeah, pretty much.
You leaving on your own. So now you stuck at the crib.
Yeah.
A lot of people, I done heard people say, I didn't live my, you 18, it's time for me to live my life. Nah, man, ain't no 18. You know, you knew you were retarded at 18.
Yeah, your life is over. Okay, when you had that kid, your life was pretty much dedicated to them.
Yeah, man, they killed me. Like when we done all sat around with dudes. Man, my baby mama tripping, man. I'm in this for 18 years. Times what?
Right.
You don't stop being a parent after 18.
Yeah.
My parents can vouch for that. You don't stop being a parent. You may not be as involved. You may not be giving as much advice.
For the next 18 years. Boy, you sound crazy. What? Yeah. 18 years. Is your kid dying in 18? Because you're gonna deal with that woman that you and y'all gonna be sharing grandkids and graduations and potentially weddings.
Y'all gonna be seeing each other. So
forever.
Don't act like you're not. True.
You might as well learn how to go. Yeah, but it was, I mean, like I said, it wasn't funny, but
it wasn't rolling on the floor.
Right.
Yeah. But
it was like,
she had some moments. She had a combination of comedy and just real talk. Like, I'm gonna talk to y'all real. I'm gonna give y'all some stuff to think about, when y'all leave. So
even the piece about the black therapist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
they can understand.
Right.
Yeah, and like she said, I say the N-word too much, so I can't have no white therapist.
Right. I don't want to have to unbox that.
Right.
I don't want to unpack that. Yeah.
Right. And that's true. That's true.
Well, like
they may not be able to relate.
We have our own language,
yes.
and I know, we got the Bill Cosby's over here and the Al Sharptons about dropping the N-word and all that. But I mean, hey, we got our own language. That's how we communicate. I mean,
right.
What can I say? What it is.
And I used to do that thing with the phone. Wherever I met you at, that's what.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm sure that's still a thing. I'm pretty. Yeah, that's still a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Now I didn't even think about that, but hey, you put it in the phone. How you remember people?
This nigga.
This nigga. Yeah. We all got this nigga.
Yeah.
We all got somebody call and you trying to avoid. You don't want to answer the phone.
Or you don't even put a name to it. You know the number. And be like,
right. Hey, even during the pandemic, you didn't want to answer the phone.
Right.
There's some people, you put you put the picture by their face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some people at my phone to this day that got the Ghostbuster thing. Like, don't answer.
Wow.
Well, that number pops up.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Whoa.
No. Do not answer
this
phone.
Day.
Avoid.
And then she was like, "Yeah, it's easy it would be easy just to block it, but you don't have the story, you don't have the backstory, you don't have the funny part that you can tell people." So yeah, man, she definitely hit on some points. I'm salute to her for real, because it's not it's not easy being a comic, but then to be a female and have your own special on HBO, really coming from just being on Insecure, that's
right.
That's solid.
And HBO throwing contracts at you twice. I mean,
real.
This is your second, that's
second time around. And the other one was like we said, 2020.
2020, yeah, right.
So 2 years later.
Chris Rock is the last person to have 2 HBO specials.
Yes.
Yeah,
I don't think anybody else has done that.
HBO kind of stepped back in the
Because they were
stand-up
always
game.
reeling out the stand-up comedy.
Yeah, they were like king, and then when Netflix kind of came along, I think they just took it over. Or maybe HBO is just selective on who they want to do.
HBO on some BS, man.
Does Prime have any stand? I mean, I'm sure they do. They have any
Oh
stand?
yeah, they got a ton of it. Bill Bellamy got a joint on Prime.
Okay,
It's just
I haven't watched it, but
Prime is just unorganized for me. I mean, there's a ton of stuff on there, but if I don't know what I want to see,
I feel like I'm on Amazon shopping when I'm on Amazon Prime. Everything's just everywhere. Like,
if I don't know what I'm going to watch, I don't go in there and search.
Hey, we could put this on Amazon Prime. Nice.
You could put you really. I mean, some of the stuff that's on there,
right?
You could put anything on there as long as you upload it and put it on there right. But yeah, she has a show, upcoming TV series called Velma that it looks like she's working on. It's like it's based on Scooby Doo.
Yeah, it's supposed to be. Yeah,
doing a spinoff of Velma.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be like mature rated, ain't it, or something like that?
Yeah. I was about to say they didn't turn Velma into a sex symbol, Jack.
Yeah, man, she doesn't hit the ground.
It's like Velma meets Insecure is what it's good.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, they didn't turn Velma into Thicky Ricardo.
But it's supposed to be on HBO. Yeah. So man, she I think she in a good spot. Obviously, since she bought a house. I mean, so she's doing well. Her family is her parents are there. You know, if they weren't proud of her, they wouldn't be there. They would be
no, yeah.
You keep doing your little comedy thing. We'll see what's going on later.
And her friend Esther, man.
Right.
And then
I was like, man, was that with? Yeah, I was like, is Esther there? Did she even point out Esther?
No, she didn't.
Unless
Esther was a code name or something.
Yeah, unless maybe that was her dog or something.
Yeah.
Who knows?
No, because remember she said her mother thought she was gay because
Oh yeah.
Wondering about Esther.
Yeah.
They're like, what about her?
And then she was like, yeah, she cooking. And then she picked up a new hobby. And I'm like, nah. You supposed to be cooking, no?
Right.
Bump the new hobbies.
Switching hobbies, yeah.
Right. Don't be going hiking. What about that mac and cheese you said you were gonna make?
That's right.
Flat out.
Man.
Yeah, it was good, man. I enjoyed it. It was, like I said, it wasn't that slapping funny, but it was entertaining. It was engaging.
Yeah.
So when you got that,
yeah, and she got something here. Shady Shola. I mean, the characters that she had in this. I mean, she could really build something.
That's why I said it was.
Opportunity is there.
Yeah, I'd never seen anything done like that with stand up. I mean, I've seen stuff like that on,
Tracy Allman.
Right. Oh yeah, Tracy. Gary Shanley. I mean, he was the same way.
Yeah.
Never really saw that on a stand up before like that, so I thought that was different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she did a good job. So let's get to some final thoughts. Mic rating. So we try to mix it up sometimes. Do some comedy specials. Do some throwback stuff. So we mix it up and do different things. A-Trap.
I'm gonna give it a 2.5, average, but it was engaging. Okay. It was, in regards to the comedy, it was 2.5. In regards to the originality and engaging with the audience, a niche. I'll give it I'm somewhere between a 3, probably a 3, but overall it's a 2.5. I'll recommend people watch it. Don't just go into it thinking, it's gonna be a ha. No, it ain't gonna happen.
Yeah,
no. But I enjoyed it. It just wasn't great. But
yeah.
But she definitely got her own. She got her own style.
Yeah,
her own lane. All right, whoops.
Yeah, I mean, like A-Trap, of course, y'all saw my message. I was just like, I'm gonna need y'all to pull me through this. But I that's just a prejudge. But I mean, I think for what it was done well. I was surprised to see some things, and of course there were some familiar things I had heard about Nigerian families, so it was that was funny having some Nigerian friends. But I give it a 3.5 mics. Just because I like the added comedy skits in there, and I would like to see her do another one, like HBO, give her another shot. I think she's on to something. That by the third, she's definitely going. I would think she'd be seasoned. I guess
she'll definitely be in her wheelhouse at that point.
Right. Yeah. No, I for what it was, I enjoyed that. I mean, will I watch it again? Probably not.
Probably not. No.
But
that one time was
one time was enough. One time was enough. Yeah. But
sometimes it's one and done.
I wouldn't even, like I said, I wouldn't mind seeing her do another one.
Yeah. Now you said something about Nigerian when we were talking at work about Nigerian.
Oh yeah,
Nollywood, I think you call it.
Yeah, so she mentioned it in the stand up, and she was talking about how Nollywood was big, and I've heard that before. Like, it's the second largest film industry behind Hollywood, and I don't know that. and that's why I've been watching more shows on Netflix with African artists, because I realize I don't know any of those African artists. I don't know anybody of that, of that in that era of that film industry. Because
Sankofa's dope.
What's
check
that?
Out. Sankofa, check it out.
Sankofa? Okay, I'll check that out. There's another one that I want to check out, which the Siege is Silverstone, or the Silverstone Siege. But yeah, she mentioned how that was a big thing, and I didn't realize it. And I was like, you know what? I've heard this, but I don't know any of those people. So Netflix has been sending me a lot of recommendations of African film and movies, even reality shows. So it's interesting to watch. I mean, it's different because it doesn't seem like it's a big quality. I mean, when we watch stuff, it's all done up and it looks tacked well and neat. But when you watch something, you're kind of like, oh man, this is filmed down the street. Like,
right.
What is happening?
You can tell this was on an iPhone 15.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. iPhone mini. So definitely one of those things. But I'm definitely digging some of the shows I found on Netflix and some that they recommend. I've watched a few of them, and I'm curious. I'm open to watch some more of them.
Yeah,
and I know they have a big hip hop scene too, but I don't know much about that.
Yeah, Afro beats, man. That's really blew up. That's almost every genre or every type of artist. They're able to flow with. So I'll give it a 3. I was leaning towards a 3 and a 3.5, but I think I'll give it a 3. I thought it was solid. It was creative.
Yeah,
it was different. I think I watched part or some of the first one, and I thought this was the first one. For some reason, I got the two mixed up, but I think she was definitely creative. I think she's got her own niche. The crowd that was there, they were feeling it. The majority of the time, she would point some people out. So I think she's been a student of the comedy game, and it kind of showed in this special.
And shout out to her for rocking those boots, because she was running and dancing.
Yeah, really.
I was like, wow.
That ain't easy.
Yeah.
That ain't easy.
She's
doing a thing.
Hey, that's why she was on that couch at the therapist with her shoes off, because her feet was up.
They were barking.
Yeah. All right, so coming up next week, hopefully we'll have Doc back. But we're reviewing Breaking. I've been looking forward to this, and this is also...
It's already out on Amazon?
Yep, it's on Amazon. It's like $5.99. But this was the last film. Drawing a blank on his name. He passed away.
The guy from was he in the Wire?
The guy from The Wire, yeah.
Oh gosh, I can't think of his name. Michael something, or is it Michael? Or
yeah, it was.
What character did he play in The Wire?
Michael Kenneth Williams.
Oh, Michael K. Williams.
Michael K. Williams. Yeah. I believe this was his last film. I think he played a detective in it. But this is actually based on a true story, something that actually happened. So we're gonna dive into that next week. So be on tap for that. There probably will not be, I'm assuming, a Queen 3 and King tomorrow. But what's coming up tomorrow on End of the Bench?
I'm gonna do a slight recap on what I've been talking about. I'm calling out a couple people. I ain't gonna say who I'm calling out. But I'm gonna call out a couple of celebrities for they seem to show up right around election time, and then you don't see them anymore.
Yep, they dip, disappear.
And then I'm gonna talk about the Indian Child Welfare Act of 1979. And people, how does that tie into us? Tune in tomorrow, you'll find out.
You'll find out.
And a couple other things, but primarily those two things are gonna weigh a lot, because it's just we keep playing these games and we keep getting jugged in the butt.
Banana in the tailpipe.
Yeah, banana in the tailpipe,
And we don't have to play these games. Just like we were talking about with the life insurance and the health insurance and the wheels and all that. Like we don't have to play chicken.
Right.
We don't have to. We choose to a lot of times.
Yeah.
There's consequences playing chicken. So, but I appreciate you, Rhonda, for tuning in. Breaking Turbo and Ozone, not that breaking. Rhonda, not that breaking.
That's DJ's favorite movie, man.
Man. But yeah, be on top for next week, what we got coming on. And yeah, we appreciate you guys for tuning in. We'll be back better than ever. Any final thoughts, Wilkes?
No, I'm good. Ready for the rest of the week, man. I'm still trying to recover from that short vacation of Thanksgiving. It's like, man, I should have took the day off, but I think I'm recharged. Enough. That was good. It's never long enough.
Never long enough. I hear
good show tonight. Good to hear from the people out there supporting us and commenting.
Yeah, we appreciate you, Rhonda. I haven't seen you in a little while. Trey Naturals. Appreciate always, man. A-Trap sending out the link to his crew.
Oh yeah.
And y'all always come in and show love. Wrap it up. Big Mo.
Trey Naturals is one of the sponsors of this network.
Yeah, she does the
nice.
The soap and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. Hair care products, skin products, bath bombs, all kinds of stuff. Natural products.
Oh. Yeah, and Trey Naturals, if you got a promo video or something,
our website,
we can play it right here. We have a Black-owned business of the week, so we definitely down. Anything you got, you can send it our way. BS3sports@outlook.com. I would love to support you in another way. So, A-Trap, as we always do, close us out.
Y'all already know. Every week I salute Reggie O'Shea by saying, dream your dreams and man up and woman up and live your dreams, because life without dreams flows in black and white. Life with dreams flows in Technicolor surround sound. And due to Christmas coming up soon, y'all already know. If I owe you, I ain't got it. And if you need it, put your hands together and get it from God. God.
Peace, y'all.
All right.